Okay. Can anybody hear us? Hello, everyone.
Hi.
It's not coming on here. Let me see.
It says live on my end.
Okay, it's working, I think. I'm going to skip my own ads in a second so I can watch it. Okay, it's on here.
All right. Cool.
All right. All right. I guess we'll just chit chat and wait for some people to jump in here, if that's okay.
Yeah.
How is everyone doing? Can you see comments as well?
No, not on my end. But I think last time I was able to.
There might be an option.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I see. Hi, everybody.
Okay. Hey, Carla. Hey, Jane.
Chiro, Midwest. Okay, yeah, I see them. I'd have to, but I'm on my phone, so I have to like scroll through a thing.
Yeah, that's the way mine does. And
oh yeah, we're both on our phones today.
Hey, Reaper, how are you? Hey, Kristen. We'll wait for some people to jump in here. You guys share this out if you can. So, guys, this is Cassidy. Well, it's the opposite. This is Cassidy. You guys need to go follow her on TikTok.
Cassidy Ray of Let's Get Friggin' Weird.
Yes. That name fits so well.
I know, too. Like, the day I was creating my business, I was obviously getting so many downloads from Spirit, and I was like, well, I need a name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at my friend's house with her parents, and I'm like, oh, it's Let's Get Friggin' Weird. And they look at me like, that's the dumbest business name you could think of. I was like, do you guys know what I'm about to do? I'm about to talk to dead people for a living. Like,
You're right.
I can't have a normal name. Like, Cassidy's spiritual time. No.
And guys, Cassidy does past life readings, and she is amazing at it. So if you ever want to know who you were, what you were in your past, holla at her.
It's my specialty. And we'd be surprised how much trauma we bring in from those lives.
Yeah. See, that's like my thing with, I know everybody knows this about frogs. I'm like, I'm trying so hard to get over this because I'm not taking this in, in 100 years. I'm not doing this again. Like, I'm not doing this with frogs because I'll be going to somebody like Cassidy to figure out why I'm like that. It'll be like, oh, you were just cleaning a pool and they jumped on you and you got freaked out.
Oh, you hate frogs? Like, you're afraid of frogs? That's how I am with bumblebees. And then I saw the show Bridgerton where the dad died of a bee sting bite, and like the kids had this trauma around it. And I was like, I'm just going to go with that's what happened because I hate bees so much. And I know they're good for the environment. I know they make honey. I don't care. I run every way. Every time I run away.
Yeah. It just depends on what kind of bee. I've never had issues with like bumblebees or honeybees, but like we had some. I left a pair of boots on my porch, and then I went out of town and came back, and these weird, creepy, mean bees made a nest in it. So when I walked in the door, I got stung all down my leg recently, and then I went out to get him. Like the next day, I'm like trying to spray him, and I couldn't find him, and I just got attacked. Like I had to go to the doctor and get medicine because it was so bad. I had big welts on my legs. It was crazy.
I do know why. Like, I can't figure out the bumblebee one completely yet, but I do know why I developed a really random fear of heights in my like mid-adulthood. I'm sure some people can relate to fear of heights, and I never had this as a kid. Like, it didn't bother me. Roller coasters, nothing. And I realized the past life that we were just talking about in the 70s, when I died in the 70s, I actually jumped off a bridge and killed myself. And that's why that started to come back to me, my past life revelations. And I developed this fear of heights. And so I'm working on healing that now because that's how I took my life, which is kind of crazy. It didn't happen until I was like 24 years old. I started feeling afraid of it. And that's when my gifts really started to kick in.
Yeah. See, I'm like that with, I've always been this way with anything on my face, which is why when we had that mask mandate, it bothered me. I could not go places. Like I would just start crying and freak out. And I would have to leave places like that were like, oh, you have to, have it on to be here. I couldn't go to the doctor's office, anything. And then once I figured out why, it made so much sense.
And then it kind of goes away. Yeah.
I know. And I'm like, this one lady asked me, she's like, why can't you wear it? I'm like, you know what? Maybe you weren't suffocated in your past life. Okay. And they look at me like I'm crazy.
I think people would be really surprised how many past life people have of dying in the ocean, of like being eaten by sea creatures or drowning and then being eaten, or being thrown into the ocean half alive and being eaten. And a lot of people just hate the sea for that reason. And then we like kind of tackle that issue in a past life, and then they're able to re-enter the water without these fears. But like a lot of people I connect with die in the ocean, which is kind of terrifying.
Oh my gosh, Paul, the spirit that lives with me. I brought him back from the beach one time. I brought a dead guy home. He is so sweet. But like, if I'm like out somewhere and I'm like, Paul, you need to make this dude leave. There was one time this I was at home, and this dead guy had followed me, and you know, they can kind of cloak themselves from me. Sometimes I don't know until they just pop up, you know.
Yeah.
And he just showed up, and it freaked me out at first, which I think my daughter saw him first, and then I'm like trying to figure out who he was, but he looked really scary. He was really disoriented, and I'm like, Paul, what'd I tell him? Something like, I'm going to try to figure out who this guy is, but we need to get him outside. And I meant like out of the house. Well, the next thing you know, this guy's gone. And I'm like, what happened to him? And Paul done took him, like made him go down the road. And I'm like, I'm going to help him just from out in the yard, not in the house. It was so funny.
Oh, that's cute.
It was
I know.
so funny.
I'm at the point, if I see an entity that I'm not familiar with, I'm just like, I just shut it down immediately. I just like, this is your specialty, and I love that for you. I'm like, Amber is made for that. Me, I'm very, very selective about who I let in to my field.
I mean,
because I mean, we're just like portals. We're just open portals.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because I want to know what all is out there, and I kind of want to experience everything as much as I can while I'm here right now.
Oh, your videos are fascinating because you connect with entities I've never even known about, but you know, you read about them in books or old, you know, movies or Halloween kind of movies. Spooky season finally too. I'm stoked about that.
I know. I'm so excited. I have not filmed in this particular cemetery for a while because I kind of I think upset the zombies the last time I was here, or whatever was here. But I'm gonna come back and maybe do an Alone in the Woods.
You should live video with me when you're in there.
Oh, we should do that. That would be so much fun.
That would be really fun.
I have to like watch my language so bad when I'm live though, because when if I do hear something or something grabs me, I'll be like, oh, and drop like F-bombs, and I have to watch it.
Are we not allowed to cuss? Sorry to your daughter.
No, I think I think it's fine. It's just like with YouTube, like when I upload a video, which is why my intro's so long. They check the first like 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. So I made my intro like really long. It's like 1 minute and 6 seconds. That way it kind of takes away from it.
I'll watch my mouth. But yeah, I don't know, just thinking about you and your cemetery experiences, like there's so much alien stuff that's now come out in the news, which is like kind of crazy if you think about like the news 10 years ago. Like they would never ever talk about aliens, and it really makes you wonder like the agenda that they have on it, because we've been channeling this stuff for years.
Right. And that's what I always tell people. It's like if the news is going to come out and say something, they're going to tell you what they want you to know, or whatever storyline they want you to believe. Because there was something I was watching recently about this alien, people that saw this alien or whatever, and I immediately heard that wasn't us. Like it was not done by us. Yeah,
or like the Kardashian, I think Kim came out with like an alien like line for her Skims. Like there was just people with alien faces in these bodysuits, or Doja Cat is now starting to like channel these alien things. I'm like, that feels a little sketchy, because I know aliens work with them. Like there are different entities, you know, the Greys, the reptiles. They're stacked with their own team. Like that's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of like,
I don't know who the cat lady
between
is.
the good and bad.
I've never heard of that one. Doja Cat? I don't know who that is.
She's just like an artist. Your daughter might know.
I live out in the sticks. I don't get out much. No.
Yeah, you're from West Virginia. I'm from Los Angeles. It's a different life for sure.
But you know, and look at it. Like I'm out here in the country, and you're from the city, and we're sitting here doing the same thing, trying to help people make this world a better place. I mean, it doesn't matter where you're from, people. Everybody can do this.
Well, technically, I'm in Mexico now.
Well, yeah, you're in Mexico now. Yes. You know, I would love to go visit like the Queen Mary ship, but I don't think I could be in California very long, because like we were talking about the other day, like the energy.
I really wouldn't recommend it either. I mean, LA is intense. I'm born and raised there my whole life, and now that I'm super in tune with my gifts, it's like it's just a portal that just sucks you in. Like the energy is so bad there.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about when we were talking about like DC and stuff. It's like when I get too close to it, it's just like you can feel it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
DC for
it,
sure.
it it's a nauseating,
Well,
almost
just
like
think
just a.
about the people that are there. Like, you know what I mean? They're in
Mhm.
Hollywood. Like every single famous slash evil person is where I am from, maybe 13 miles away from my house. Of course, I'm going to pick that energy up.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm very close to Hollywood. That's where I'm born and raised. So same with, you in DC. Think about all the entities that have been over
Mhm.
there. Humans.
Right. Non-humans, humans, whatever you want to.
All of it.
Yeah. And another thing, going back to the aliens, is when people have real experiences. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed this connection with when somebody really truly has an experience. And the same can be said for like Bigfoot and stuff too, to some degree. When people go public with that, those people end up missing, or you never hear from them again when they see
Yeah.
weird things. So
Yeah.
that's also another clue as to
What's
whether
true.
things are real or not.
Yeah. If they go missing, it's real.
Yeah, if they go missing or have a gag order on them or something like that, that then they saw something.
Or they come out with like an apology video.
Yeah.
Someone
Oh, yeah. I
hushing
was
them.
I was doing some devil's lettuce last night, and I just made it all up. Like it'd be something like that.
Devil's lettuce. That's what I call it too. Or wacky tobacco.
Yeah. Hey, Three Souls. Hey, Kristen.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so if anybody has any questions about ETs or
Past
we can
lives, anything.
past lives, we can go into Hollyweird, whatever if you have a question, type it in, and we will see it.
Yeah, I would say for me, my specialty is like Hollywood and past lives.
Yes, because you have a deep connection with Hollywood in your past life.
Yeah,
Or well,
actually,
politics.
I was a part of it in my most recent past life when I died in the 70s. I was a part of the Hollywood industry, and then I got reincarnated back into Hollywood, which is insane.
Yeah.
They threw me right back into it.
It's like you have to figure this out and clear
Yeah,
this
and
karma.
it's pretty intense too because in my last life, I've seen visions of myself with Jeffrey Epstein. So I know I was capable of a lot of evil in my last life,
Mhm.
which I definitely feel I've carried into this life.
Yeah.
And it takes a conscious effort to be like the best person you can be.
I mean, it would be super easy for you or anybody else that channels or anybody to just be like, I'm going to just ignore this. I'm going to
Yeah,
go to my 9 to 5 and not be a part of this. And you can do that, but what
yeah,
good is that going to do? You're going to do it all again next time.
that's exactly it. Like people, you can choose whatever lifestyle you want. It's just I have a really good understanding. I know I need to do some intense work in this field to really up level where I need to be in my
Hmm.
conscious level, my soul up levelment.
Yeah.
We're bigger than these little avatar bodies we're stuck in.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Okay, I think we have a question for you, Cassidy.
Woohoo! All right, look.
Can you see it, or do you want me to read it to you? Or
Oh, okay. Gigi, thank you for bringing this up because I actually was going to mention it, but I was like, I don't know if I should talk about politics. Because I've been hearing things that Michelle Obama might be running for president in 2024, or whenever the next presidency is. I don't really follow that. I've been hearing that she will be running, but I am fully aware that Barack Obama was a reptilian. Like, no, not against anything he did. Politically, I could care less about anything, to be honest. I'm very removed from the system. But there is a lot of, there's a lot of energy around him being reptilian. And I think that no matter the celebrity or person in power, they have to do good also. Like they fully understand that karma, what goes around comes around. So like even though they may have like different agendas, they do also have to give charity. They give this money out to others, and that like balances out their karma, which also makes Earth a really confusing place to be, because you can like kind of be a shitty person or do bad things. Sorry. And
You're fine.
also like give to charity and do these good things, and like the laws of the universe say like that kind of balances out. So it's, I don't know, it's kind of tricky to like be on this planet, honestly.
Yeah,
Earth
it's a
is
mess,
pretty,
isn't it? It's a mess.
yeah. But yeah, that's like kind of the energy that I get around them. I don't think it would be beneficial for Michelle to be in office, because I mean, I've just heard so many things about like her and her agenda to like, help the youths or whatever she's doing with her books and everything. I think there's an alternative agenda here, which
Hmm.
also goes back
There
to
always
control.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it goes for any president. I don't think anyone gets to that level without. I don't think any president in the world has been like, I'm going to be the best person in the world for this country. I just don't think that's how our system works. And yeah, that's kind of what I get around those two.
Yeah. And also, like, when it comes to politics, and I will tell people this all the time, it does not matter the side, because you have crappy ones and good ones on both sides. So
Yeah.
just because somebody says they're going to help do this, they're red, or they're going to do this because they're blue. Dude,
Yeah.
the
I
last
mean,
red
duality exists.
VP is
Yeah.
a crappy human, a crappy person, did a lot of
Yeah.
bad things, and that energy is horrible.
If
So
we
it does
want to
not
talk
matter.
about our current president, well, okay, I've been channeling this for a while. One, our current president is already a clone. I think that's pretty obvious, right?
Right.
But I have been channeling that he's not going to live past his term. So this clone that they got, they can only live so long. You know, these clones, especially if they're trying to match the age that he is at. But I do not sense that he will live past his term, which then makes Kamala, however you pronounce it, our first ever woman president. So that's going to be effing insane.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, right, power to the women, but at the same time, it's probably going to create a lot of havoc. So that's just what I've been channeling probably since 2021. I've been seeing that Biden won't make it through. I predicted Queen Elizabeth's death, who was also already cloned. So yeah, they just, when they clone these people who are older, the clones can't keep up with the consciousness, the soul. They don't have the right science yet, so they have to age and eventually die too, the clones.
And there's a lot of them, which is why I know there's so many people that are unaware of people being cloned, or thinking, oh, it was a pig back in the day, or whatever that was. It's been going on for a long time, longer than they will tell you, but it's 100% true, people. The clones exist. A lot of these actors have not been themselves for a long time. They have 8, 10, 15 clones. Like, there's a lot of them sometimes. And
I think a perfect example is Taylor Swift. There is no humanly possible way you can play that many shows back to back. That it's not possible. And so I think Taylor Swift is a really good recent example. I mean, I love her music, so I can't hate that much.
See, I'm completely opposite. I will not listen to anything from her. Her energy bothers me.
Oh, I know. I'm just a lover girl. The love songs get me.
I mean, it's like, just for an example, sort of an example, because I've had these comments. Like, people will come at me and say, you're doing the devil's work. You're channeling stuff that's not of God, whatever.
Right.
But then they're sending their kids to a Taylor Swift concert where she's full on doing a freaking chant and like,
right. Oh, I'll never go to a concert. Yeah, no, I'll literally refuse to go to concerts. Like, I actually just had a dream about a concert the other day, and they were like starting to gather the crowd to do this ritual, and I was like running out of the venue in my dream. And it's just like, I mean, the Astro World concert where people literally died because he hypnotized the crowd. Like, these aren't just like coincidences or accidents. Like, these are full on, like, they have a demon on stage with a portal, and then they're doing a ritual.
Right. And they're getting everybody in the audience to chant certain things or to say certain things, and you're helping them do this ritual, and you don't even know it.
It's spell work. Like, I understand it. Like, you can use spells for good or bad, but
right.
Yeah, I think people.
But when it's coming from people like that are into the bad stuff, it's like, I don't want anything to do with it. This lady just walked by me and was like, "What?"
I don't think I've been to a concert in like 7 years. I refuse to go to concerts because I understand the energy is too intense.
Yeah, the last concert I went to was about 4 years ago, and it was a Miranda Lambert concert.
Oh,
But
also, Janelle asked, "What is a reptilian?"
okay,
Um, and the best way I can explain what a reptilian is we come. A lot of us come from star seeds or different planets. Reptilians are just another form of a star seed, but traditionally they are the ones that are in the governmental structures, powers, and traditionally they are the ones who try to uphold power and kind of use it for the worse. So not all reptilians. Like absolutely, there's good and bad of every star seed. Like you can be from you can be an Arcturian and still do horrible things on this planet. So
right.
reptilians are just traditionally known to really take high positions in power. So you see the Kardashians, for example, they're all reptilians. Um, and yeah, a lot of people in the government.
Yes, a lot of them. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Okay, somebody asked about their past life. Do you want to talk about how you do that? Like how you?
Yeah, let me see who asked. Carla Small. Okay, Carla Small asked, I would like to know about my past life. Okay. Well, let's see if we get anything. Should I channel a little bit?
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. All right, just give me a second. It's my
Take up
channel.
time.
All right, Carla, I'm going to look into some past life stuff for you. Okay, I see orange right away. Keep in mind, this is like a scavenger hunt in my brain, and then it starts making sense. Orange. And there's lanterns around. It looks like we're in some sort of like cave tunnel system. I hear water dripping from these caves. Looks like this is a place you live. We're back in BC. Looks like it's the year 80. 80 BC is what it looks like. In the tunnels. I don't know why I'm seeing orange though. Maybe that'll come. There's also hieroglyphics on the wall. Hold on, sorry. You're a male in this lifetime, Carla. Ah, sorry, my phone just knocked over. There's spirit doing its thing.
All right.
Okay, male. I'm trying to see like where we are on the map. We're not necessarily like in Egypt where the pyramids are, but we are in Egypt. So you have a past life in Egypt. You live in these cave systems. I get you as a poor man. This is not a place you came of wealth. So in this lifetime, there could also be a struggle when you were younger with your story around money. Whether it's like you're always afraid you're going to lose all your money or not have enough to provide. I'm not sure if you have kids, but there might be this like scarcity mindset around money. That kind of comes from, I know currency wasn't necessarily a thing that was invented there yet, but there is like famish. I keep hearing famish, lack of food sources, resources, and the water from the cave system. Essentially, you died from drinking the water from the caves, which had these bacterias in them. So Spirit wanted to show you that life. That's what I got for you.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I haven't live channeled in a long time. Well, like face to face, I should say. I channel every day.
Yeah.
With my clients, I have my audio recording. So I'm literally just sitting here, eyes closed for like 40 minutes, just talking into my phone.
Well,
so
you send those via email, right?
Yeah, email or if
how do you get that big of a file to send? Because I can never get anything to send. It's like a file too big.
It's a voice recorder app, and you have to like copy the link. You can't send the link from the app. Like you can't press share email. You have to just copy the URL and then send it in the email.
You'll have to send me a screenshot of which one you use because I can't.
And people have to download it or else it expires.
Okay. So
yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you your opinion on something. What are your opinions on pyramids and how they got here?
Oh, aliens.
I was gonna say I know what I've what the information I've gotten. I just wanted to see if it
Yeah,
was
no,
the same.
I've channeled so many past lives for people who were coexisting with aliens while they're also in human bodies, and they're also shapeshifters during this time. I actually just had a client the other day who was able to, it's incredible because I've never seen this. She was a spirit guide that also was able to be human, and then she had like these giant peacock angel wings when she was as a spirit guide in Egypt, but then she would also time travel to other places in her human body. And it kind of sort of makes sense of like who Jesus was, traveling around and being able to affect people all over the world. Like he was, in a sense, a time traveler, or his body was able to astral travel into other people's countries.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And also, do you pick up on energy from the pyramids? Like a lot of energy that is just like inside of them, like it's in them.
Yeah, it just feels like the best way to explain it, like, you know, just a cartoon drawing of what like a sound, like the drawing of what sound is, of like the aura, like the
Yes.
circles of sound. That's what I feel is just the pyramids, like these layers of like energy, like these rings that are just built up to the top.
You described that so much better than what I was going to say. I was going to say, you know how when you get too close to the microwave, when it's on you feel it buzzing?
Yeah, like it's just like this auric field that's really
Yeah.
powerful. I just personally, like, my vision is like rings that are like layered, and they're kind of like that bright bluish. And like it feels like almost if you touched it, it would electrocute you.
Right. I want to go find like I would love to like be around one just to see what it did to me.
Yeah. I went to the ones in Mexico City and Teotihuacan, or whatever however you pronounce it. And those pyramids were pretty cool. I mean, I was seeing so many visions of aliens there. But I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time, and he wasn't so much into it, and I was like really passionate about it. I was like talking about aliens, and he was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, you don't even understand how much of history is here."
Right. Kiro has a question. She said, "Can you channel asking why there is tons of UFO activity by the Big Dipper in the late summer? Are they leaving or entering?"
Yeah. Okay. You channel asking why there are tons of UFO activity at the Big Dipper. They are entering. Some of the main ones are coming from the Andromeda Galaxy, which is the closest galaxy to Earth. If we didn't have so much pollution, you could probably see the Andromeda Galaxy at night. I'm hearing Andromeda and Arcturians are also coming in. And they channel a lot of energy from the Big Dipper, so that's the location. That's why they choose there. I also channeled back a couple months ago that Washington is a huge, obviously, like, not talking about Washington, D.C., like Washington, Seattle area along the coast has a ton of UFOs posted out there. I at least picked up 7 ships that were over there. So they kind of are in the physical, also in the sky at once. You know, they can go transparent and turn their ships invisible, but they are physically here. Yeah.
Have you ever seen them like cloak in a cloud? Because I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. I can spot them, but it's just so wild that they do that. But they do.
I see them so often that like I don't even think twice about it. Also,
Right?
lately I've been connecting so much to sirens in the water. Like I could not feel more at peace with sirens. I know people are sometimes terrified of them, but
every time I go to the beach, I do that. I go out there and I'm like calling to them, and I've gotten like the sounds that they make. I've gotten it on video. But yeah, I have such a deep connection with like the mermaids and sirens. You know, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, and I've really been starting to channel that in because I live in La Paz and the water's really warm, so I'll just go have some devil's lettuce, float in the water, look up at the stars at night. Like literally it's like 10 at night and we'll just be in the ocean, like looking up at the stars, and I just really connect to sirens. And there's like this sense of peace of like nothing in this water is going to harm me right now. Like I feel like I am one of them. Like it's weird. You just feel this auric field of like protection.
I feel that same way. I feel at home when I'm there. I feel at home.
Yeah.
And it's
some people are terrified. Some people are like, I hate sirens. I'm so scared of them. They're going to call me in to kill me. And I'm like, that might be true for you.
Right?
Yeah. I don't feel like they're going to kill us. My friend here in La Paz, there's a ton of like siren statues here. Like there's and like all the murals on the wall are like sirens and fishermen's coexisting together. Like there's a lot of history in La Paz of sirens. And my friend who I met here, he's a captain of like a private yacht here. And he literally told me one day, he's like not into this kind of stuff. Like he was like, dude, I can't even express to you how weird it was. Like I was driving out for sunset, like right here on the bay, not even far. And he was like, I see this woman, like looked like a human, like swimming far out. And I was like, what are they doing? He said all of a sudden she had a fishtail, scales, everything, and she went away.
That's
like
awesome.
the fishermen and the sirens really do coexist together.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Still,
yeah.
An agreement, I feel like, between them not to harm one another.
Right. I don't know that I could be out in the ocean like so many miles out when those big storms hit. I've seen a few TikToks like that where those big waves come and cover the boat. Nope.
Yeah,
I love the ocean,
terrifying.
but I don't like that stuff.
I was just watching a movie on Netflix, so this lady gets like, she's like migrating, like doing illegal immigration from one country to another, and her crate, like those giant crates that they put on the ships, it got stuck in the ocean, and she's like stuck on this for like 40 days. And she's in those deep like storms. Terrifying.
Okay, let me see. There was something else I was going to ask you about, and I just saw some dude standing in the grass, and then he's gone, so I just lost all train of thought. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Tim Windsor, yeah, that does look like my YouTube. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, he's a mod, so he's posting your link, I believe.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. What about in Vermont? Yeah, Vermont is super like the mountain area in Vermont holds a lot of spiritual energy. I don't know so much of like hiding new aliens there, but I do feel like Vermont has a ton of history and like energetic fields over there. I actually lived there for like a month and a half. It was random. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just catching up with these.
Thank you, Tim.
I heard an audible voice in my backyard the other night, loud and clear, say hello. Can you see what spoke out? Look to me. Amber, do you get anything around that one, the Chi Road sounds?
I think it was just a human spirit.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was a dark entity or anything.
No, a lot of times, especially, and I know Chiro Jane, I love her to death. She is very connected in that sense. So, you know, when they know that you can see them, feel them, pick up on their energy, sometimes they will not ever shut up. It just depends.
Yeah, actually, for this one too, it feels like it was like it's part of your spirit team. Like it might even be a relative who passed in your lifetime here. They don't feel like a stranger. They just might feel like a stranger to you. Okay, let's see. Cassidy, can you feel if my daughter has reincarnated? She passed 2018 at 14 years old. Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Okay. She is still on the other side. There usually is about a 30-year gap at least before we reincarnate back. Specific things we can come back earlier for. But she is showing me she's still on the other side. She still has a very young kid energy, like she's playing with dolls. I see the color pink everywhere. I actually bought like a pink skeleton for Halloween over here, and she's like telling me, she's like, oh, I love that pink skeleton. Like, I wish I could put sparkles on it. So she likes a lot of these like kid things, and usually when they pass the age they are, they will portray some of their best memories when they're younger. Like she shows me the age of 7 with some of her best highlights of her life as well. She also wants to say thank you and I love you for everything you've done for me. And she says, I know you'll never forget me, so don't worry about losing my memory. She says, I literally won't let that happen. And she feels like sassy. She was like, you think you can forget me? Please. So she is not reincarnated.
Spirit stalker, do you have conversations with her where you hear her as well? Because I'm feeling like you're talking to her and you're hearing her talk back. Like you're almost like channeling her. No, spirit stalker, her daughter. It's like she's talking to her and she's talking back.
Oh, she dyed her hair pink once. Yeah, she literally just loves the color pink. Because I actually bought a white skeleton and a pink skeleton. They're like husband and wife, and she's like, I like the pink one. Like, put sparkles on it. Yeah, but Spirit Talker, are you communicating with her? You think?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, because she's like, we have these conversations. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
so awesome. Just keep doing that. Just keep doing that.
and especially
She's
this.
okay.
Yeah, this month too of October, she said like you might like hear me more. She's like really into the holiday season right now for October, so there is just a natural channel too. You know, I'm in Mexico, but Dia de los Muertos is a traditional time where your loved ones come to cross over.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of ancient traditions. So she will be feeling a little closer this month than usual.
And it kind of, I think some people think it's just like cliche to say that like the veil lifts a lot like in October or there's more spirit communication, but there really is. Like it
Yeah.
really happens and I love it.
It's not just like a silly book or tradition. You
No.
know what I mean? Like it's truly a really big portal. And I
Yeah.
think there's a solar eclipse happening this month too. So there's a ton of things
And a
going on.
blood moon.
Yeah.
Last blood moon, I literally heard a werewolf. And so I'm excited to do it again this year and like
Yeah.
figure out where he's at. I don't know if I want to
I
see him.
I love anything like werewolves, vampires. Like I'm hooked on those types of shows, and I just know that like if I saw one in person, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Well, not the last one, but one of the it was earlier this year. I picked up on this vampire and she was gorgeous. She has like like she looked human, and she's like got this like sleek black outfit on. Like she like she's some biker chick, but like it was so pretty. And she had like this
Yeah,
burgundy red hair and it was like really
yeah.
long. And then she just
I'm
smiled
seeing it in
and
her
her
head
fangs
right now.
popped out. And her fangs just popped out.
Yeah.
But she didn't threaten me, but she was beautiful. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous. Like
Yeah.
it's not what I thought they were going to be. They don't look like Count Dracula.
And I think like we actually do need to take some things that we see in these shows, especially like the mystical shows like Teen
Mm-hmm.
Wolf or like Vampire Diaries. There is a lot of truth in that, like the rules, the spell books, because there's like witches as well as wolves and vampires and hybrids in Vampire Diaries, for example. But I think we can take some of those things literally. I think, if you Google how did vampires come to like what's the traditional meaning of vampire, they'll just tell you, oh, people got like the Black Plague and then they looked like these vampires.
Mm-hmm.
um no, that's just what they put in history books.
Right. They got to add something to it. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's cool that these things exist. In a sense, where all these different things exist, it makes me feel like humans are the odd ones out at times because
yeah,
we don't always see everything, and I'm sure the other side sees all of it too. I mean,
yeah.
but
I mean, humans are not the only ones on this planet, like not even
right.
close. And
Yeah.
other planets especially, but Earth is full of different entities. Like that's what's kind of unique about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
kind of
I've
like no
even picked
other.
up on, I don't know if you have, I'm sure you have, but I've picked up on some ETs that always stay here. They're always on Earth. They don't like go places. They're just like here with us. Like
Yeah.
I guess they're just all there's some from here, some from other places. There's so many of them.
Hey,
Like
someone said I think your mics are off. Can you guys hear us? Hmm. I'm
another
not sure.
spam call. I wasn't going to answer it and do my funeral home thing on live.
Can you guys
Should have.
hear us?
Um,
I don't know
re-
why. I can hear you
okay,
fine.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. I think we're good. There was only one person.
Okay,
Okay. Tim said we're good.
turn your volume up, Reaper. Okay. So what Cassidy, what is the craziest thing that an ET has ever like you've channeled from an ET?
I've been abducted in my sleep 2 times, but more for like a cleansing purpose. But that was pretty fucking freaking insane. Sorry. I'm trying to think. I did have a really intense vision one time. She told me I can call her Sarah. That's obviously not her real name.
Right.
But her name is Sarah, and she was kind of like a female. Their genitals work differently than ours, but she was a female, and she showed me kind of visions of what to come in the future. This feels at least 5 years away from now. But it happened like right before the Travis the Astro World concert where a bunch of people died. She like showed me visions of like fires, riots, people, like all these things breaking out. And then she also showed me exposure of like aliens being in the public and the people getting terrified turning against these aliens and killing them. So she showed me her being tortured and killed by humans, and I was like really devastated and started like crying in this vision. And she said, no, like I fully accept this is my mission. And it was kind of beautiful to see in a sense where like I feel like that's how I see death at this point. Like, doesn't matter how I go. Like, I just understand when I'm supposed to go. I would die for my people. Like, I really would. I would die for the general public. I would have no issues with that.
Okay, we have a question from Donnie, and it says, if there are higher intelligence ET, why are they allowing the elites to depopulate humanity and usher in seemingly satanic new world order? That is bigger than probably what we are going to get into tonight, but for the most part, they're the ones doing this. Like we talked about earlier, reptilian are a form of ET, but there's good ones, but they're not going to step in and save the day when humans are self-destructing one another, hating one another, causing chaos, and just being horrible people. We have to learn to get along, to love each other, to spread kindness, to spread love, to quit talking, manifesting hate, to quit manifesting just crap talking people and about certain things. We have to learn to shut our mouth, love, get grounded with ourselves, with nature, and allow them to interact and help us that way.
And I'm just hearing constantly, it's not our problem. It's not our job.
Right.
It's not our job. Like, it is not their job to come in, swoop, and save us, or else that defeats the point of us being on Earth. We chose to be reincarnated to actually go through all this stuff, shiz, and up level. I know, I'm so used to cussing. The reason we reincarnate onto Earth is to experience this, the pain, the beauty, all of it. And this planet cannot survive unless we figure it out. And it is not their job to take all the things away. It's their job to assist, which they do a lot. Trust me, they really do help a lot. But there's certain things they can't touch, like they're not allowed to. So I know people are always asking, how do we change the system? How do we take the evil people out of power? How do we do that? All right, just like go against the system, like we don't have to be paying taxes.
Exactly.
We don't have to be listening to everything. We can grow our own food. Like, these are things we're fully capable of. We don't have to take orders, but.
And if you can't grow your food, go to a local farmer's market, buy from a local butcher, things like that. But also it goes back to just, we can fix this. Okay. Humanity can be saved. We can fix this, but we have to freaking unite. And that is such, when people are watching media, watching the news, they try to pick every little thing apart so that people hate each other and fight. I mean, that's literally what Facebook is for.
Fighting. And that's why there's a two-party system as well. It's meant to create this divide, this hate. And I think now more than ever, we are seeing such a big divide because more spiritual people are coming out more than ever. Like, in the past, you would never see so many psychic mediums like online channeling on TikTok or whatever. And then you're also seeing a large amount of people who are like coming out being openly hateful or prejudiced or racist. You know what I mean? So there is this huge divide because it's all coming to light. And I think we're just in the midst of the ugliness. My visions I've seen 15 years from now are incredible. I mean, it shows us that we do kind of fight back and change some things. But we are here for one of the most intense shifts this planet's ever gone through, which is also not to take like your life for granted, because you came here knowing that this was all going to happen, right? And you agreed to help.
And it's even, and that's, I always tell people too, like, a lot of people only remember the crappy things you go through in this life, but the good things help too. The good things are karmic lessons as well, just like the bad are. All the crap you've gone through in this life, it's all for a reason. It's because your soul has to go through this crap to learn. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes we'll never understand it. But the best thing anybody can do to help this is to stand up for what's right, stand up for what you feel is right, and don't back down. That's the only way it's going to work.
Like, honestly, like it starts with your personal everyday mindset, and it sounds so cliche, but like you really have to be the best version of yourself to help this planet, because if everyone's doing that, it's great.
Right. It's like the people that are, and I'm sure everybody's met somebody like this, but it's like the people that are so negative. I'm never going to get that job. I'm just never going to get what I need in life. I'm never going to get everything. I'll never have a car. Okay. And those people don't have it. Why? Because they keep saying they're not going to. You have to
Yeah,
speak things like it's already happened. You have to speak things
yeah,
into existence.
yeah. And I think, I mean, there's obviously a clear divide of like people getting like kind of people born with more opportunity. We can't dismiss that, but at the same time, people in poor upbringings or whatever it is have escaped and made an incredible different life for themselves. It's we have proof that it exists, and also
Right.
people who are born into money, for example, have become horrible people.
Right.
So it really comes down to each person's morals and choices, and we don't get to choose how we learn our lessons. For example, people always say, "What do you mean I chose my parents? Why would I choose an abuser? Why would I choose an RAPIS?"
Right.
Right? And I get that. That's kind of intense for our human mind to comprehend. But at the same time, we don't choose what they've done. We choose how we learn the lessons, and we choose
Mm-hmm.
the actions we take. They could have hurt you in a different way. They could have robbed you or done or lied to you, and you would still kind of feel this effect. So not to dismiss any of these things, but sometimes we need a bigger perspective of why
Mm-hmm.
we're going through these things and what we can learn from them.
And there's a lot of things we're not ever really going to understand until we get to the other side, because
Yeah.
it's beyond our comprehension to some degree. Donnie, I agree with you. I really truly 100% believe that if everybody would go outside, put your bare feet on the ground, and everybody meditate at the same time, amazing things would happen in this world.
Yeah.
Like, do some cool stuff, but a lot of people aren't going to do that.
Yeah. But there's so many of us that are helping, and we just have to kind of stay focused on that. And even a lot of people, because on my TikTok channel, like I I tell you guys what I see, and the visions aren't always
Hmm.
pretty for the most part. Like they are kind of, as Donnie was saying, like I see natural disasters, famine, things like this. I absolutely see those things, especially the month of October. There's going to be a lot of traffic, child traffic,
Hmm.
coming to light. I don't know what words I can use. And yeah, we're not going to be going through a pretty fun light experience for the next 15 years, 10, 15 years. It's going to be heavy. And people will be like, oh, you're fear mongering. All we have to do is love. It's like, yes, but like I have to notify the public of what I see,
Right.
because it's going to happen regardless of
Right.
all the prayers and wishes that you send out. It's going to happen.
It's like you have to go through certain stages before you get to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I've also seen like a really good, like things get better. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it'll get better before, like during my lifetime. You know what I mean? Like it's not going
Yeah.
to be.
And time works so differently on Earth than on the other side. I could channel a past life from the 1700s into your soul. That's really recent. Like
Hmm.
1700s, it's not far away. To our human minds, we're like, yeah, or like people get aggravated, their manifestations or things they want aren't coming to life as quick. It's just because time works completely different here on Earth, completely different. And so that's another one of our lessons we came here to learn is patience.
Yes, absolutely. I struggle with it just like a lot of people do, though, too.
Yeah.
Um, Carla, the with spirit guides, even like in my opinion, from what I've channeled, Archangel Michael, spirit guides, you need to ask them to come in and step in. They're not going to do stuff if we don't allow them to or ask them to. You can ask your spirit guide to give you messages, or to or do a meditation to channel them, um or to give you signs, but you need to ask
Yeah.
them to.
Something that really helped me in the beginning, because most of my visions I was getting a couple years ago were only through dreams. It was hard to do it consciously. And I started practicing where the month of October might be great practice for you.
Yeah.
Carla, this is for you, but you can do something at nighttime. So it's already in this like spooky kind of spiritual feel or spiritual hour. And what I used to do is literally like sit on the ground or in a chair and just kind of put my head down, close my eyes, put on really intense, whether it's like chants or meditation music, and listen to it pretty loudly, and then just close your eyes and see what comes. Like, don't have a notebook near you. Just see what visions you see in your head. It could be random. You could see an orange, and you could be like, what is that? Like, why are you showing me an orange? Sometimes it just makes sense. But another thing is you can also do these meditations while staring at yourself in a mirror, but I'd recommend like in a dark room, because you actually might see a different face, and that could be your past life self.
I need to try that one. I mean, I've done Bloody Mary and all that stuff in the mirror. I need to try that one.
Oh, she's Bloody Mary. No, I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing all that. But no, I did it once.
Hang out with me, Cassidy, for a while.
I did it once, and I saw me as a native woman in a past life, and she was completely naked. She was just old, saggy woman chanting in the woods, and I was looking in the mirror, and she was like, "This is you," and I was like, "Oh, hi.
How you doing?
How you doing?" Let's see. I truly believe my late dad is protecting me from my evil in-laws. Yeah, that's true. Some in-laws suck. Like, let's just be real. But they do.
Yeah.
Actually, I think people find it hard to think. Well, people are like, you lose someone and it's like, oh, I'll never have them again. I can't pick up the phone and call them. I can't feel close to them again. But from their perspective on the other side, they're actually able to help you more than they could. Because when you're looking at things at a spiritual, energetic level, those things really can affect you. And there are people who have sent negative energies to you. And that's what our loved ones can do on the other side. They can take those things away and block that for you. So don't forget to thank your angels for the work they do for us. They're putting in work.
I mean, and you're right. They can do more work on the spiritual side, because a lot of times, even if somebody just gives a friend advice and they take it the wrong way, they won't talk to them anymore. They're done. They cut these people off, that it causes all this chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, our angels they're very powerful. We need to give them more credit sometimes for what they do for our everyday lives.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even when my dad passed away, it's been like 10 years ago. Like, I'm very well aware that he was okay, and I still I let it get the best of me. You know what I mean? Like the grieving and stuff. It was terrible, but look, now I can. I mean, he's in my basement. Does that sound bad? He's
hanging out the clown.
He was cremated, so he's still in my basement. But I need to do something.
I think it's natural. The humans are always going to grieve. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I lost my grandma about 10 years ago, which is obviously different from losing a parent. But yeah, I'll just randomly break down and start crying. Sometimes you just want that physical hug, but we can't change that. Like, that's also something that's hard to accept, but we have to accept that we are able to communicate energetically. This is something we have a gift for. People are like, oh, I'm never going to talk to him again. Actually, you can.
Yeah, Jane. Yeah, it's different. We have to grieve. We're human. We're going to, but you'd think me out of all people would know better, but it really did. It messed me up for a little while. But it was my daughter was 16 weeks old when this happened, and we had just had this horrible car wreck right before that, and I'm dragging her to ICU because I was there. You know what I mean? And it was just all this stuff going on, and then it was just. No, it was crazy.
I mean, I can't even comprehend. My grandpa is 101 right now, and he just and he's doing great. He just had to get a pacemaker surgery last Friday, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to put a 101-year-old out under the scope? And that scared me, but and I feel like I started grieving his death before he's even dead. And I was just absolutely depressed and sad. And it's just so normal. I think no matter how spiritual you are, we are going to grieve and cry and be in pain. That's never going to go away. I think the important part of being human is just finding tools to get yourself coping better.
Yeah. 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 My dad's good now. All of our loved ones are always going to give you that peace of mind from the other side too. People just have to ask for signs. You have to learn to speak up and ask for signs, whether you say it out loud or in your head. People need to learn to just ask them, ask for signs, show me something. And you can be specific. You could be like, hey, if you're hanging out with me, I want to see a blue butterfly. I mean, it might take them a minute, but they'll do it. Spirit is very intelligent.
And way more. When they ask for those things, sometimes they expect it to be a physical blue butterfly. It's it could be on a shirt in a store. It could be on a billboard. Somebody can bring it up.
Yes. Or just, exactly. Absolutely.
I asked my spirit guides the other day, I went to this little snorkeling spot, and I was like, just show me a turtle today, just to know that I'm, I was just having a really rough week. I was like, I just need to see a turtle today because my
Mhm.
angel baby sends me turtles, and I didn't see one in the water. But as soon as we got onto the boat after being in the water, my friend looks at me. She goes, "Did you see the turtle?" And I was like, "Ah, there it is." Because I was
That's
bummed I didn't
awesome.
see a turtle, and she saw it for me. So humans are also messengers for each other, and that's what I think. Like psychic mediums jobs are so important because we're just messengers. I actually had one of my spirits the other day tell me I was their little pigeon, like delivery pigeon person. I was like, oh, thank you. Because
Nice way to
their
convey the
mom,
message, huh?
yeah, it was a young boy who committed suicide,
Uh-huh.
and his mom always comes to me to try to connect with him. She's like, I haven't heard from him in a month, and he says, tell my mom that you're my carrier pigeon. If she needs anything, talk to Cassidy and she'll tell you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
And
humans are here to help each
speaking of
other.
mediums, and I know you mentioned it earlier about like how there's so many people doing this now, like more openly, I guess, than um there used to be. But I do
Yeah,
want to tell you guys, if you are gonna like get readings done or actually take what people have to say seriously, make sure you do your homework on people because
yeah. Some are
especially
just
TikTok, man.
insane.
I've seen some crazy stuff on there, even recently. And this lady had like 500,000 followers, right? But she's on there telling people, I don't even know who she is. I don't follow her. I don't know how it even got on my page. But she was
Yeah,
on there legit telling people that ETs aren't real, cryptids aren't real. There's nothing other than human spirit, and they're always okay. And that ghost hunters are all fake because spirits don't come back here once they go to the light. And I'm like,
it's like crazy to think about that because like that's truly the reality they believe, which also makes Earth a really confusing place.
right. But in some degree, I really do believe that that's for her, that's her reality because,
Yeah,
like we were talking about earlier, like when I was only channeling people who have passed away, um, that's what I was doing. And I wasn't putting myself out there to channel
yeah,
anything else. You have to
exactly.
want to do it. But for somebody to
Yeah,
tell somebody that something does not exist or that they're all fake except her, don't do that. Don't gaslight
I
anybody else's
yeah,
experiences.
I just come to the conclusion that everything exists. Your reality totally is real for
Hmm.
you. My reality is real for me. So like when people try to dismiss things that I say, I'm like, okay, to you, like
Right.
it's
Right. I
fine, but
mean,
like everything exists, literally everything.
like this person may only be able to channel people who have passed away, and maybe for her, she doesn't understand that people can come back or whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you have free will in death.
And
So
that's why also the divide of religion is kind of frustrating because it's like same shit you're just talking to. You same
mhm,
shit, different name. Literally same
right.
shit, different. Like we're all talking to this higher power, right? And it's
Hmm.
okay if you call it whatever you want to call it. If it's okay if you're even atheist, and you just believe in like energies and physics. It's all the same thing. We just have a different name to it.
I had this huge like download about religion the other day, and I have yet to share it because I know it's going to trigger a lot of people. So I will wait for that one. But
Yeah. I'm like, do it, trigger the people.
I
I
don't
love
share a
pissing
lot of the
people off.
stuff. I had to take a break from TikTok. I had to shut my messages off other than people that follow me back, each other. Because like people were drowning me.
Dude, there's nobody meaner than a YouTube comment though. I swear, like everyone in the comments here is so nice. Like my YouTube, I get the most hate. Like I've never seen haters so much in my life than YouTube, and I
See,
can
for
take
me,
the
it's
TikTok
opposite.
haters.
YouTube, I love it for the most part. I have good people that comment. TikTok is where I was getting like private messages from like
Mm,
people that are going to church every Sunday and telling me I should die.
yeah. Like, oh, okay, that's very godly of you.
Right?
Yeah, it's a yeah. It kind of comes with the territory. You have to have thick skin to do this job.
Exactly.
But it's broken me many times. Like I've fully gone into like a depression because of how mean people can be online. But at this point, I just kind of reply something funny, or I just be like,
Hmm.
Haters help the algorithm. Like you're paying my bills. Thank you."
Yeah. I was looking and sometimes I don't see all comments just when I like get on my phone app on YouTube. But like when I go in the YouTube studio on the laptop, sometimes I'll see more. And I saw one and it's from like 6 months ago, right? And I don't even know this person. They've never commented on anything else, but they commented on something I put out there and we're like, oh, are you working out now? It looks like you've lost a little bit of weight. And I'm like, Shut up.
Okay.
It was so funny. I'm like, why would
Like,
you
we're
just
talking about alien
say
stuff.
that?
Shut up.
Right?
What does that have to do with anything? I know. People are ruthless. That was actually a huge block before I like started putting videos online. I am still really insecure about my weight, and
Mm-hmm.
I was worried I would get more like fat shaming than anything online. But it's actually only happened like twice. Like people just shame me for my job. They shame
Yeah.
me for something else. So I'm like, I can handle that.
It's such a catch-22 too. For women, nobody really goes after the men for what size they are.
No.
But you're a little bit fluffy, and they want to say that you just eat McDonald's all day. I mean, I haven't eaten McDonald's in over a decade, and I will not eat
I
it.
love McDonald's. I eat it.
Nah. My daughter calls it McSacrifice. But
I mean,
anyways,
I know it's not good for me, but I do be craving it.
um, but then you get too skinny, and they're like, "Oh, she must be on pills. She must be on drugs," And we
There's no
can't win.
winning.
We're never gonna win.
Yeah, I think a big thing I work with my therapist now is that like it doesn't matter what someone thinks about you, and they're not for you. They're not your
Mm-hmm.
true friend. They're, maybe your family members say something. Your family member sucks. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's them. It's honestly not a you thing, and it's taken a lot of years to comprehend that.
Right. And speaking of family members, it is okay to get rid of people out of your life for your own sanity and your own well-being. I don't care if it's a brother, sister, mother, father, child,
Great.
cousin, best friend. If they are not good for your soul and cause you to cry and to have emotions that you don't want to have, get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that.
It's been a sad reality starting this business too, because it might sound like no, that's fake, but like as soon as I came out as a psychic medium, I had friends that like childhood friends I've known my whole life, like my best friends, and they were like, "You're absolutely insane. Don't ever speak to me again." Like I was like, "Oh, okay, what?" Like you've known me my whole life, and I'm coming to the public about this gift. But yeah, no, I've cut off my parents multiple times in my life. It's necessary. I don't speak to my brother. It's been like 3 years. Some people are just not good for you, and
Mm-hmm.
until they or you know how to clearly communicate those boundaries, it's okay to cut them off.
Mm-hmm. And there's also, we can cut people out without causing drama. You can just say you're busy. Okay. There's a family reunion. I already have plans. I'm sorry I can't make it. You don't have to like be super vocal about it if you don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
You just do it quietly. Keep your
Come up with
peace.
an excuse, a little baby excuse.
Yeah.
A white lie never hurt nobody, okay?
Right. Ain't nobody care if anybody lies.
Yeah, this will be my second holiday season not going back for the holidays, and I could not feel better about it. Like, there's a sadness to me that's like my grandpa's 101. I never know when it'll be my last holiday, but I just need to accept this is not good for my mental health to go back there, especially for the holidays. So, making my own traditions is something I've always wanted to do because holidays are a big trigger for a lot of people as well as myself, especially if you've had family drama during the holidays or an abusive narcissistic parent. It's just not a fun time. It's not cheery. I'd rather just be alone. You know what I mean? So it's okay to skip things that you just don't want to do.
Yeah. And see, I try to for the most part, well, it's a newer thing that I'm trying is to like keep my mouth shut and just go on with my business and not be too vocal about things and just try to keep it peaceful. But I've got a big mouth. I'm sure everybody knows that.
We're both Virgos. I mean,
I will tell somebody how it is. My kid's
me,
the same way.
yeah.
She was due
Me and
September
Amber have
11th,
the
but she
same
came on the
birthday.
4th. So she's the same way. It doesn't matter if I see somebody, even if I just see something weird going on at the grocery store. Sometimes I'll say something, and I mean,
Yeah.
I might get punched one day, but I haven't yet. We'll just say that.
Well, if I try to get punched, I could. I'm not the type of person somebody would try to punch. Like I'm strong.
Yeah.
But thank you for subscribing. Who said that? Babes in Toyland and other things. Thank you for subscribing to me.
It's been several years ago. I don't know when this was. It's maybe 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago, probably. I was alone with my daughter at Walmart, and I had a buggy, and she was just walking beside me. It might have been longer than that. But anyways, this 2 guys and a woman come in behind me, or they start following me, and I notice they don't have a buggy, and they look really sketchy. So I go down this aisle, like this, where the laundry baskets are. There's no one else there. Well, then the woman and the man comes up in front of me, and I'm like facing this way, and they're standing in front of me. and I see them doing like hand signals. And I look behind me and the other guy's behind me. And they were getting closer. And it just, I knew something was wrong. So I pop in my good old pocketbook of wonders and pull out a little flippy BLADE. And I said, stand right here and hold my hand because mommy's about to get somebody.
Wait, was this at that grocery store you said?
It was at Walmart.
Walmart. It's always Walmart.
Yes. And, you know, I mean, I see these stories on whatever. I don't know their intentions, but I know they were doing hand signals to each other and they weren't shopping. And I think they were really thinking they were going to take one of us. And it wasn't going to happen. No. I'm like, you know, you can't do that to somebody who lives in the mountains. Like, we always got something with us. Don't do it.
Yeah,
don't even try
it. Smart. Good on you. And especially as a woman, we always have to be a little extra prepared.
I would love to have seen the video surveillance if they had one in that owl.
Yeah.
Because I literally just pulled it out. I'm like, stand right here because mommy's about to get somebody. And I said it so loud. They all took off running and they left. They ran. Yeah. They ran.
Donnie said Walmart is creepy. Yeah, Walmart is kind of creepy.
It is very creepy. Creepy people, for sure. There's been some bad things go down with some Walmarts.
Everywhere, like, yeah, Walmart's just all right.
Right? I mean, I really said that. But it's like I wanted them to know that I wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all need to know I ain't playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we share the same birthday. We're both Virgos. I think we both hold ourselves to that standard of like, don't mess with me. Like, yeah. Yes. And we're both spiritual. It's like we know we're protected here and there.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I have a kind of a crazy story. I don't really usually do spell work, but for the first time in my life, just a couple months ago, I did spell work, and it is crazy how it worked. I obviously won't name any names, but there's someone in my life who's going through a divorce. But before this divorce was instigated, I did a really intense spell on her husband, who has been really abusive her whole entire 37 years of just straight abuse. Since she was 19 years old, she's been just under this man's control. And I did a spell to protect the wife. Like she's like a mother to me. So I did a spell to protect the wife, and this was a powerful one. I had chills up my body the whole time, and I was asking Spirit, repeating for like 10 minutes straight, take all his money away, take everything from him and give it to her. I was like, protect her, take every single penny this man's ever had away, because people like him rely on money for controlling the woman, things like this. I'm not kidding. 1 week later, he unfortunately did violence to her, and she escaped. And for the first time in 37 years, she filed for divorce, and she did it, and she got all his money.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
I was like, I didn't know I could do all that. So I was like, okay, imagine I did even better with this for myself. Yeah, spell work is insane. I never really got into it until I realized I can.
That's awesome, though. I mean, and you're using it for the good. Like, I haven't really messed with it too much, but I do have some people in my freezer. Names. not the other way, y'all. Don't be reporting me.
You have people in your freezer?
And my basement. Geez, what's going on with me, right?
We're not gonna get banned for cussing.
Right.
Oh my God.
I haven't really gotten into it, but there's some stuff I need to take care of, but I don't know much about it yet.
I don't either. And actually, when I first started this work, because I love Vampire Diaries so much, I would take the spells that I heard in that show, because there's a really powerful witch who like protects all her friends and family. So I took protection spells, and they were like Latin, and I started doing those in the beginning, or health spells around, family or friends who were dealing with like lung transplants or intense things. And I realized how much good you can do with spell work. I think there's this negative, scary connotation around it, but spell work can be really, really healing and helpful to other people. But it's cool. Yeah. I'm slowly getting into it more.
My great-grandmother did some stuff. She died when I was very, very young, so I really didn't get a chance to know her in this life. But she always helped people and did some good stuff for people.
Dude, the story around my great-grandma is insane. So my full name is Cassidy Pasqualina Ray. Pasqualina is Italian. And I was named after my great grandma Pasqualina.
Mhm.
And I found out when I started this work, my family came and told me, they're like, you know, your great grandma was a famous psychic. Like, people travel all over the world to see her. And I got her
Oh
middle
wow,
name. And I was like, holy crap. And like, if you look at pictures, we look alike. So
that's
it's pretty
awesome.
insane. Yeah. What did you see?
It's it's a live person walking, but I was listening and I wasn't paying attention, and she kind of came up by the car and scared the crap out of me.
It's a live person. It's alive, not dead. Don't worry.
It's a live person.
I love that.
Oh my goodness. This has been fun. So does anybody have any questions about ETs, channeling, anything like that that you guys want to ask?
Yeah. Anything else?
We've just been kind of chit-chatting.
Open to whatever.
And another thing, speaking of like grandmas that did some magic, none of even the people that complain about people who do that now, like none of us would be here without those people making tinctures in their kitchen, picking herbs and healing people. None of us would be here. So
I mean,
y'all
think
better.
about all like the old tips and tricks. They're like, oh, I have a burn, and like your grandma has some sort of natural cure for it. Like, they know, they were so holistic, and I think that like
Hmm.
it's important for us to pass down family traditions like
Hmm.
that, or like family recipes, or yeah, like I guess natural brews or whatever, like teas and
I'm the one in my family now that does that. If somebody is sick or has something wrong with them, I've got stuff in jars all over the place, and it's like, this is
yeah.
for cold, this is for sinuses.
I'll literally like sit someone down. I'll like put my hand on their face. I'll be like, lay down, and I'll just like put my hand on their face with some peppermint. I was like, let me just do what I need to do. Okay, you
Hmm.
shut up and let me just do my thing, and I'll just do some healing Reiki and all that. Okay, is there a certain feeling you feel when you channel, or is it an individual thing? What do you feel, Amber?
Um, it just depends on how spirit wants to come
Yeah,
through. But I just hear it or see, and
yeah,
sometimes they'll show me images. Most of the time they do, but like I just hear it. If they want to be like super brave, they'll just like stand in front of me and talk to me. But
yeah.
um, if spirits like want to get close to me, like if I'm on an investigation, I will get like tingles all the way up me, like it feels like
Mhm.
electricity. I will get that sometimes, but
Yeah. Yeah, I created boundaries with my spirits because I used to see, touch, feel, hear. I used to get all the senses, but the touch really messed me up. Like, that was this terrifying when they physically when a dead person physically touches you. It's scary. It doesn't matter how in tune you are.
mm-hmm,
It's like, I don't want to feel a gust of wind on my ear. I don't want to feel you tickle or scratch my back. Hell to the no. So I made pretty clear boundaries. You're not allowed to touch me, and I don't want to see you physically. I said I can see you in my third eye just fine. I don't need to see you physically, because those get really confusing for a person. It also kind of makes a person go into psychosis oftentimes. That's kind of
y'all
why people
pray
don't
for me
see.
then.
Yeah, no, but no. I mean, obviously you can handle it, but like some people who are more prone or have different brain chemicals. But for me, I feel. So the best way to put it is like, I'm an empath where I feel your pain. If you have backaches, I have backaches. If you have a migraine, I have a migraine. And this is when I'm channeling you for a reading. This isn't just like every day
Hmm.
walking around. For example, the first time I ever connected with a boy who shot himself in this lifetime, in real life, his mom came to me connecting, wanting to hear from her son. 4 days before I did this reading, knowing that I was going to do this reading the week of, I had a chronic migraine. The back of my head and the front were just like, it didn't matter what medication I took, nothing. And I was like, oh my God, like this headache is killing me. I finally sat down to do this reading, and I realized he shot himself in the head. And I was feeling the pain. That's how he was connecting to me. He was showing me what the physical pain was.
Hmm.
And so I feel physical pain. Some people say you need more spiritual protection and boundaries around that. For me, it does help me empathize with people. I don't necessarily hate it. But if people in a past life
Yeah.
had stomach issues, I might throw up in a session. Like, it's It's that real for me.
See, when I do connecting with people, I get the pain too. Like if they had a heart attack, I will get like severe pain
Yeah.
in my chest. It took me a while to kind of differentiate
Yeah.
like what certain things mean. I know that if I get like a really sharp
Yeah.
pain on my head, it was like aneurysm, stroke.
Yeah.
Um, there's times that like I think the one time when somebody ended himself the same way you were talking about, it was like just this throbbing in the back of my head, and then it just like it was just so weird. But you
It's just so
learn to like,
obvious. Yeah.
yeah, you learn to figure out what it means.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I get it wrong. I'm like, I have this pain here. Did they have a stroke? But then they'll be like, no. Then like later on they'll be like, oh, but they had an aneurysm. They had a stent there for a long time and it started bleeding
Yeah.
again. Then they why didn't you just
Exactly.
tell me?
Sometimes they'll show you not necessarily how they died, but issues they
Uh-huh.
had in their physical body, like, oh, I had a
Right.
lot of back pain or eye surgery or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend, if you're new to this work, to for people in the comments who are new to this work, to like get a journal of what things mean for you. Okay, headache. All right, what were you thinking of, or who were you connecting to when you got this headache? When you see colors, sometimes they mean the chakras, and sometimes it means, like, if I see pink, like for that woman's daughter, it's like that was her favorite color, but it's not a chakra that she's showing me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it definitely does take time to differentiate, and still to this day it can confuse you what it means, but
Right.
it's the same thing. Like if you see balloons, like you can kind of come up with your own keywords for spirit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know if it's for like this for you, but like a lot of times when I'm channeling, they won't give me names, like certain names of people.
Yeah.
They'll just
No.
give me signs. That's
Yeah.
why, like, I know there's some people that'll be like, okay, this name starts with an H. It's an H. It's an H. And I'm like, they don't even
Yeah.
tell
Some
me that
people,
much. They
it's
just
cool because like some people that's their gift. Like they can just go
right,
right away. Oh, Charlie. And I'm like, oh shoot, how did you know that? Like, and that's
right.
really cool. And I think that's also what, like, the type of people that put on TV that also makes everyone else seem like a fraud, because we don't all
Uh-huh.
have that ability.
Right. But I'll
And
know if
that's
they're like a family member, a grandma, I'll get that mother feeling, or like the
yeah,
father figure or cousin, best friend, I can pretty much tell who it is.
yeah,
But they're not going to be like, my name's Donald. You know what I mean? Like they usually don't do that. Sometimes
yeah,
they'll tell me a name, but it's very rare.
yeah. And I just don't think we're in the business of like trying to play tricks and games. Like maybe that's what
Right.
old psychics and mediums would try to do. Like, okay, I'm gonna try to trick this medium. Like, okay, then why are you coming to me? Why are you spending money? Like, like
Yeah.
if you
I
want the
have no
messages,
time for
like
that.
let's keep it,
So it's
like
not
let's
even, yeah.
yeah, let's keep
Eric,
it
if
real.
you have any questions about ETs that you want answered, type it in the comments. He has a YouTube channel and he talks about ETs and cryptids a lot. So his channel is awesome.
Mama Meow, hi, good to see you again. That's one of my followers. Do you need to set boundaries every time, or does Spirit know my boundaries? At this point, Spirit knows my boundaries, but it took probably 2.5 years to get clear.
Yeah. And you have to be careful with boundaries. I mean, it may not be like this for everyone, but I know personally for me, and it's probably because I go put myself in situations I shouldn't most of the time. But, I do protect the house. I don't do it as much as I should. I mean, I get lazy with it and I'll admit it. And then when something happens, I'm like, why did I do that? But, like I was talking about that demonic Jack in the Box that I have. I knew something was wrong with it before I bought it, because everything in me, my guides were like, don't do it. Don't do it. And I'm like, here's the money. And then they're all just like mad at me. So it stayed in the Jeep for a long time. And I didn't realize this when I bought it, but like when I hit a pothole, because our roads are crap here, it would squeak. Okay. It bounces and it goes squeak, squeak. So I got tired of hearing it squeak, so I took it in the house. So when I'm like using the Ouija trying to talk to this thing, after I saw him, I'm like, so how did you get inside? I have protections up. He said, you brought me inside. He called me out because I did. You have to be careful about that,
He's like, what do you mean? You literally carried me inside, lady. Yeah, the boundaries are important because we're just really portals to the other side.
Yeah, it was crazy, but like I knew I messed up, and he called me out on it. I didn't think about it, but I did bring it inside.
Yeah,
and I didn't set the boundaries when I did that. So
paranormal highway. Yeah, we can read an alien if they're on this planet, and if they're not on this planet.
yeah. I mean, if you have any questions about an event, or like anything that's happening lately, like just ask it.
I'm getting a lot of throat chakra energy in this video call. Like I feel like I have a sore throat, but I definitely don't. Like it's not mine. I'm wondering what that is. Could be like someone in the comments. Does someone have a cold? How can you know if you're channeling an alien from another planet? Um, it's just obvious. Like they just show it. You know, like you just understand if you're connecting to a different dimension. Like it just doesn't feel earthly. Is the best way to put it.
And sometimes they'll even show you. They'll show
Yeah.
you and just tell you like, hey, I'm not there right now.
Yeah, like, and I'll see, visions of like their surroundings. I'm like, this is clearly not Earth, or they'll show me like stars or planets very close to them. And I'm like, oh, that's not the view we see from Earth. Like the moon is like the closest thing we can see, But some of them are on these planets where like other planets are really, really close to them. So you'll just kind of know.
Let me see.
Yeah, there are aliens walking around that look humans. I forget the specific name or species, but a lot of Pleiadians are kind of naturally very human-like looking. A lot of them, I mean, the best way I can explain is like people from like the Netherlands, like really pale, blonde, blue-eyed people. A lot of those are aliens. And a lot of us are aliens, you know what I mean? But a lot of them have to change their physical appearance because it looked very human-like. And also sometimes you can look at someone and be like, you do just look like an alien. Like
it's like when you see somebody like at a grocery store or when you're out somewhere and you have that weird eye contact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like even one of my ex-boyfriends, I was like, you really look like an alien. Like you have the tall, skinny figure and like the head shape, and I'm like, oh, you're not human, are you?
And they're probably like, what?
Yeah. I know some things I just keep to myself.
Let's see. Yeah, same. Let's see, babes, did your dad die of a negligent nurse? Babes, what I'm getting from your dad is that he says you don't need to worry about that because it was going to happen either way. Like it was his time, if that makes sense. And I know it sucks because we always think that people should, live to be, 100, and that would be awesome. But he's saying don't worry about it. Like you're worrying about that too much.
Yeah, I keep
like
hearing
it was his time to go. No matter how he went,
it was unavoidable.
Right. It was going to happen either way.
Yeah.
And I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear, and I'm sorry, but it was it was his time to go.
It's important not to hold that grudge and that hatred because that's just going to do you worse in your healing in the long run and for your spiritual up level.
Right. Your dad doesn't want you to be upset about that, especially like he's good. He doesn't have the earthly problems, the pain, the illness, anything like that. They're not carrying that with them on the spirit side. I'm sitting here talking with my hands and sticking my hand out the window. Like he's not carrying, but he's not. He really isn't.
Yeah. There's complete peace around his passing. I feel that too.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this might be because she asked that question. Did your dad die of anything of the throat? Because my throat is really like scratchy in this session, which could be somebody's loved one trying to connect, or it could be someone who just has a cold. But I feel like I have a sore throat, and I don't know why because it just started in this live. So if anyone could help me clear that up, that'd be great because there's a lot of us in here.
Eric, pretty much if like just whatever you want to ask them, it's just like talking like how Cassidy and I are talking, in a sense, or how like you and I talk or whatever, it's just like talking to a person in a way, but spiritually, if that makes sense. Sometimes their wording is a little different, but it's the same as like in a way the same as channeling spirit or
Yeah. Babes has thyroid cancer. That makes a lot of sense. And you asked the question about your dad and all that fun stuff. Are you having a flare up right now, or how are you doing? Because I feel it. So I'm wondering, the throat is coming through pretty clearly.
I literally had to take a prescription migraine pill before I got here because my head was splitting. I'd suffer with migraines anyways, and I'm like, I don't know if it was something like
Yeah.
trying to keep me from coming, like doing this. I don't know what was going on. It was so crazy.
I don't think there's a medium who doesn't suffer from migraines. Honestly,
Right?
like
It
I feel like it
sucks.
comes with the job, and from a really young age. Mine started when I was 4, and my
I've
mom
had it my
would
whole
never
life, pretty much my whole
understand.
life.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and she would never understand because they came really randomly. And as I got older, I realized it was dead people connecting to me, and it was just kind of all stuck there, and I didn't know how to release that energy.
Yeah. I need to get better at like healing my own migraines, but it's like sometimes I can't do it. I can't. I mean, I can try to control them, but like sometimes I just can't do it.
Yeah. Mama Meow said, what could a clairaudient activation feel like? Hearing voices in your head.
Yeah. Or hearing them out loud.
Yeah, yeah, it could be the physical, like you could be sleeping and someone calls your name, you're like, what? Um, it's just more of like you feel this different being talking to you. It's not you talking in your head. Like I can decipher if I'm talking to myself in my head, what should I do today? Blah blah blah. Versus more of a profound person talking to
Yeah.
me. Oh, you lost your 12-year-old doggy. I'm so sorry. I love doggies.
I know. I do too. I have so many.
Okay. For babes, your thyroid cancer, you have to get blood tests soon connected with the thyroid cancer. Yeah. That probably is why they might have to change medications or something. There's some levels that are off right now, if that's what I feel. You want to talk to the doggy? Why'd it get so dark where
Because
you
I'm
are?
outside. I need to turn. I could turn my. Can you still see me a little bit or not?
Yeah, where'd the sun go? It disappeared.
It is 7:29, so it's already starting to get dark earlier. We don't have like a very long summer period where it like gets dark at like 9:30 in the evening.
That happened instantly. It's like
Yeah.
disappeared.
Let me see. I have a light somewhere, but I
No,
don't know how
you're
to work.
good. I was just
I don't know
wondering.
how to work this car. It's a new car, and I can't drive a freaking car because I'm so used to driving SUVs and Jeeps that I can't drive this thing.
You look spookier in the dark.
Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, that's
No,
kind
that's
of
too
creepy
much.
too, right?
Just do what's comfortable. I was just wondering where the sun went
Yeah,
because
it's gone.
it's
Sun's gone.
4:30 over here.
So it's still nice and in daylight over there.
Okay, let's see. Kristen, lost your 12-year-old dog last week. Can you connect with pets? I can sometimes. Pets aren't like my specialty, I'd say, but they do come through if, um, like usually they're with somebody else. If you have a grandpa on the other side, I see your grandpa with your dog. Also, I can see you getting a new dog. So take your time to heal and grieve this baby. But doggies are just like humans; they can send you signs and kind
Yes.
of be with you
And
the same way.
sometimes other pets will come through too, not just the one you think you're going to connect with.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't do a lot of connecting with pets,
Yeah,
but I keep seeing this bigger dog. I don't know if it's a bigger dog, like a blonde collar and holding a red tennis ball. That's what I'm seeing, but I don't know if it's like a previous pet you had or the same one. I don't
yeah.
know.
Sometimes they'll show like your childhood pet that like you didn't even think about.
Right?
Yeah, that happens a lot for me. Um, can we have love making with aliens? This is actually a funny question because you're not the first person to ask this. And I've actually channeled it. We have completely different genitals. So they've literally shown me that in a vision. They're like, we have different genitals. It simply wouldn't work.
So Cassidy, what is your opinion on some of the alien stuff going on lately? Like this where everybody started seeing it all of a sudden. What do you think about that? 'Cause I know there's probably people that are curious.
I
Hi,
think
Eric.
there is a good amount that are here now coming more for the first time. I do think more people are connecting to it. I just think it's sketchy when the media starts talking about it because it means they have a greater agenda of what they want to release. The fear they'll put around this, the like, you know, Chinese spy balloon versus like alien, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna twist the story every time. And that's why I just tell people turn off the news and just listen to your gosh darn self. Like just
Right.
this little thing right here tells you everything you need to know. Anything I channel on my page, I don't read a single thing. I don't read the conspiracies. People are like, oh, where'd you read that? I'm like, God.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you can ask a question, Val. Absolutely. Eric, you're so funny.
That's hilarious. Oh, her previous dog Molly, you did connect to her old doggy.
Oh, I'm still seeing that dog. That dog is beautiful.
For some reason, I see like a black and white kind of like shepherd mix. So I don't know if somebody else has a shepherd mix on the other side.
Have you ever, Cassidy, before, I know we'll probably get some more questions, but like, have you ever experienced a pet that you had that was like I know we're all soul family, but like a soul that you had, like an important soul that you had a life with before that you've connected with after they've passed in like a vision or a dream?
As like a dog?
Like a dog or a cat or whoever, you know.
Wait, repeat the question.
I'm not making sense. Like I've only experienced this once. I had a dog and I got him when I was like 17. I'm super old now and he died about Charlie Ann was about 3 when he died. So he was like 17, 18 years old. And like I always had this like really deep connection with him. Okay. He was like not like I could just sit and talk to him like a person and he would like he knew what I was saying, which is so weird. But like I've had dreams with him. And in my dreams, like they were like visitations. He would run toward me and then just turn into this human and he would hug me and he'd be like, I've missed you. I've missed you. I can't wait to hang out, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, it's so crazy. I love that kind of stuff.
I used to like, before I started like seeing my own visions of it, I wasn't sure if it was possible for like dogs to reincarnate as humans or humans to reincarnate as dogs. But as times progress, I know that like that's not impossible. It's absolutely a thing. I've even worked with a client who like their dog at the house, I was connecting with her grandpa on the other side in a session, and the grandpa kept saying, I am the dog. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I am and the dog. And so it comes to the point of like you can have split souls. So like somebody could be reincarnated and I'm still doing a mediumship reading for you. I'm like, okay, they're already back on Earth, but their soul, we are everything. So we don't have to only be human. We are still on the other side at all times. So yeah, the dog to human connection is absolutely a thing.
Yeah. It was so cool though, because I've never experienced that part of it before, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're asking questions. Ask away. Sons. Amber, are you seeing the?
I'm gonna try to pick up on this.
Yeah, you go. You go for it.
Okay, let me give a disclaimer. Nothing I say can be used in any kind of legal thing. But I feel foul play.
Same.
Because I see him laying down and someone running, like feet running away, like someone left him there and left. That's what I see.
I see foul play too. But has to be peace and acceptance around that.
Right.
He's saying even if that person if you never get justice from that person in this lifetime, it's something that may be out of our control.
Right. It's not like he's actively been like, you have to find my killer. You have to find it. It's not like that. He's made his own type of peace now.
Yeah. There's also acceptance that he made choices that led up to that. So there's accountability he's taking.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry for your loss though.
Yeah.
Val, that sounds like a spirit guide coming through for you.
Oh, that's actually really cool though.
Yeah, that's really sick.
That's awesome. That's cool that you got to experience that.
Yeah, electricity hum. That's really cool.
I'm always seeing things shooting around in the sky all the time.
How can a person have more than one past life? Oh, we probably have hundreds.
I'm pretty sure I'm over the 100 mark. Yes.
Yeah.
Some people, it might be 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But I would consider that like a newer soul if you're only having like a couple.
Yeah.
I mean, just that's just how I differentiate it. I gotta quit saying that word because I can't say it. It's all bad.
You gonna learn today. Yeah, it's just a matter of how many karmic lessons and what your soul's deciding
Mm-hmm.
on the other side. In a session with a client, I usually won't pick up more than 4. They tend to stick to 1 or 2. It's what's applying to your current lifetime. They're only going to tell you what you need to know right now. They're not going to tell you every lifetime because you're not allowed to know. Sometimes you're
Right.
never allowed to know, and you'll never get drawn to even getting a past life revelation or reading. Some things we just aren't supposed to see, like part of the rules.
Eric, it just means you've been around the spirit block a time or two. I crack myself up. You don't have to overlook me.
Right. Wait, I need to go get my dog. Hold on.
Okay.
I think I left him outside.
Green Mountain droning, sometimes people themselves just have a hard time with what's going to happen, especially if they know they're going to pass. And they just lash out. And it's just how some people deal with it.
He was actually inside the whole time. He's so quiet.
Yeah, some people just deal with passing in different ways. And I'm sorry that you had to go through that because I know that's not fun to go through.
Yeah, and also like there is remorse on the other side for that. I don't know if regret is the word they're using over there, but there's your human self and your spiritual self that you wouldn't say or think as a spirit. The human self has a lot of ego,
Yeah.
and that could have been ego to protect
Yeah.
them, but also thinking they're protecting you, which doesn't
Right.
make sense.
I think in that situation it was probably just like scared to die, scared fear.
Yeah, trying
And
to
they're
push you
just
away.
lashing out.
Yeah.
If you're a
Mamma
bad
mia.
person in a past life, does that mean you can have thoughts of being bad?
Yeah,
I mean,
for
yeah.
sure. For sure. I was a horrible person in my last life. I was really bad. Like I did it all, honestly. I did really bad things. And something from a young age, I always felt like I had this darkness or evil in me. So it's taken the conscious effort to not act on intrusive thoughts or things like that. I think a good example of this might be like killers or child
Mm-hmm.
MOLs, ESTRs. That could just be them not healing from that past life and they act on it. So yeah, it comes to free will and not making those choices.
I think one of the hardest things for me to when I started doing all this work, is to realize that everybody, no matter who you are, has that chance.
Everybody.
To go and heal and to do better. Because a lot of us would like to think that certain people will just like burn in a fiery pit forever.
Yeah.
And that's not how it works.
Yeah,
So,
it's really funny. Like even, watching like Jeffrey Dahmer on Netflix, I was like, oh gosh, like what happens to this kind of soul in the afterlife? And it's like not much different than what happens to yours.
yeah, exactly.
Different lessons when they choose to
Mhm.
reincarnate and things like that, but the process itself,
Yeah.
they're not going to a fiery pit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that people think that because of
Yeah.
of certain religions, but that's just not how it works.
And then like in terms of the laws of the universe, like bad is bad. A lie could be just as bad as a murder.
Mm-hmm.
Lying to someone you love versus murdering someone you love. It might translate as the same karma on the other side. So
Mm-hmm.
There's not one thing that's better or worse than the other. Like, my crime was less worse than this person's crime. Like, it's karma is karma. What goes around comes around. The actions you put out have consequences.
Yeah. But then again, it's like, just like with like a little white lie, it's like, I don't think we need to be 100% honest with people we don't really know, or, you know what I mean? Like, people that ask questions. If you don't want to tell people
Yeah, no,
things
for
about yourself,
sure.
don't do it. It's
Some things are okay not to say. If it's gonna like
right.
make somebody worse, just keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's more like blatant hurtful things, like purposely hurting somebody, it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever seen somebody possessed, Cassie?
Like a real alive
He said,
person.
Paranormal Highway said, do you know the difference between seeing somebody possessed versus seeing something in a past life?
Oh, I've never seen a possessed person. I've seen someone with a lot of dark energy around them, but I've never seen. You probably have.
I don't know. I don't think I've actually seen anybody possessed.
I've just had like a friend personally who I did Reiki for that was like the most dark energy I've ever connected with, and that was just stuff she allowed in, but we cleared a lot of it out, most of it out. So I don't know. I think possession is something in the movies.
I mean, anytime you have light, you're gonna have there's dark. You can't. It's like a balance, that yin and yang. You have to have. You can't have all goodness without some darkness. It's got to balance itself out. So when there's good, there's dark. When there's dark, there's light. Spirits, there's dark spirits. There's light spirits. If that makes sense.
You wouldn't be on Earth if you were all good, to be honest.
Right.
You would be somewhere better. Trust me. This is not the place an all holy soul would end up.
Yeah.
We all have our shiz.
Oh my God, I'm getting tingles all over my head again. What is going on? I'm
you are in a cemetery.
I'm backed right up where the zombies are too. Oh, I got tingles all down my freaking head and all down my arm. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So if anybody has any more questions, we'll answer them. Then I think we'll let everybody go.
Yeah.
Work on them, Eric. Do some meditation. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
If you asked me 3 years ago how to do it, I would laugh and be like, I don't know. Like, I'd be like, why are you asking me? My mediumship started really young. Like, I couldn't control my mediumship. Around 4 years old, I started seeing dead people for like loved ones, family members.
Mm-hmm.
The psychic stuff I had to kind of just practice. It really comes with like intentional practice, like every day, honestly. But we also all have different gifts. Like, you're not supposed to do exactly what we do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know people that see spirit as all shadow people, or they see them as green mist, or, they just get certain feelings. I mean, everybody's going to get information differently.
Had to kill a mosquito, my bad.
I know, I've got a gnat flying around in here and it just keeps landing all over the place.
Yeah, just had one kid in here.
It's a lot of work, Eric. It's a lot of work.
I want to cheat to the top. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Let me know if you figure it out.
Yes, absolutely. It's work. I mean, you're always having to work on yourself, and even just finding time to meditate and to really get into it and cleanse yourself and ground yourself. It's just a lot. It's a lot of work. It's like a part-time job. Sometimes a full-time job.
It is a full-time job, but it can be also super overwhelming. So like, a good reminder from spirit oftentimes is like, yes, you're supposed to learn all these things, but also like, it's not the biggest deal in the world if you don't learn it all in this lifetime. Like, that's what reincarnation is for. If you can't handle it all in this lifetime, there's going to be different opportunities for you on the other side. And so like, we also have to just exist and live, because we're supposed to feel joy, pain, sex, love. Like, we have human bodies, and one day we won't, and we won't know what food tastes like one day.
Yeah.
A lot of loved ones who I connect with are like, "Oh, I miss the food on Earth."
Hmm. But and it's so crazy because sometimes they'll send you scents and smells and different things like that they loved.
Yeah,
I
100%.
swear I've got chills all over me, and it's 77 degrees outside. I got my windows up, no air on. This is crazy.
The windows don't matter for a spirit.
No, get away.
Tell your daughter to put a protection spell on you right now. Keep her busy.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna unless do you have anything else to add or anything you want to share or Cassidy? I mean, before we get
Good.
off here.
I think we chatted about all the cool things.
Guys, I'm literally there's a gnat like that keeps getting in my face, so that's what I'm doing.
I like how we both had a bug and I just smashed mine.
Those spirit bugs, right?
I know. Sorry, I don't like them. Yeah, no. Follow me.
Yeah. Make sure you're subscribed. Go to TikTok. Cassidy does a lot of stuff on TikTok. It's Let's Get Freaking Weird.
Cassidy Ray, Google me.
I need to start posting more on TikTok. I kind of got bored with it last year, so I kind of quit. But
I know. We can go through phases. It's all right.
yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. I don't know how to. I guess I just hit end.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Nice to meet you.
Oh, wait. I just copied it. Crap. Hold on. All right.